news on NFL Live. Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels will not play on Sunday when they host the Raiders. Daniels is out with an injured knee, and veteran Marcus Mariota will start in his place. It'll be Mariota's first start since 2022 with the Falcons. He also was a former backup with the Raiders. Here's Dan Quinn on the decision.
We decided to start Marcus and said at the beginning we were going to be very diligent on his return to play and make sure we didn't miss any steps. So we're going to be smart, not just fast, and player wants to do everything all the time. That's who he is as a competitor, which I love, but that's how we'll roll.
Hey everybody, we are rolling with the entire gang today, Hannah Storm and all the rest. So RC, let's start with you. Daniels apparently was throwing in practice this week, ran maybe a little bit today. There are some positive signs. What do you think about this decision by the Commanders?
This is the absolute right decision. This isn't just about week 3 for the Washington Commanders. This is about week 17, week 18, and where they are as they're trying to get into the playoffs and make another run to the NFC Championship. Of course, the player wants to play. We all want to play. No one trains all offseason or works their entire life to become a starting quarterback and sit out games if they feel that they can go. But if you're Jayden Daniels, you have to look at the long-term effects of this injury and the way that you'll be able to play. I love that Dan Quinn is focused on taking care of his quarterback, but also having him as ready as he can possibly be for a stretch run down this NFC battle that's going to be extremely tight with so many good teams at the top.
Yeah, RC said a lot of how I feel and my sentiment when it comes to keeping Jayden Daniels out of this game. I'm actually excited to see Marcus Mariota play. The athleticism is there, and usually when you haven't been able to see a guy play and scout him, we've seen time and time again in this league that they go out and perform well. Marcus Mariota fits into that same vein, maybe not a better thrower of the football than Jayden Daniels, but can do enough to win games. This guy's had tremendous times in this league. He's played well at times in this league as well. And I'm sure DQ Dan Quinn is comfortable enough with Marcus Mariota playing not to put Jayden Daniels in harm's way. And I think that says a lot about Marcus Mariota and his preparation and his know-all with this team as well.
Yeah, and let's turn it to the other side, Dan. What does Pete Carroll's team need to do to beat his former defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, and the Commanders on the road?
They got to get Ashton Jeanty going, and they got to give him more chances. I think it's twofold for me. One, he needs more carries. But two, they got to get him to the line of scrimmage to give him a shot. I mean, he's been hit behind or at the line of scrimmage the most in the NFL, and he's getting less than a yard down the field before getting actually contacted. And the way I've always thought about it is when you get into these situations as an offense and you're trying to get a guy at least going in your run game, less is more. And kind of simplifying their run game in an aspect of, I mean, I've watched Bruce Arians do this for years. I see the Bucs do it still. They get into like a double tight or even a bunch formation and they run duo. And it's just double teams, front side, and they at least give the back the chance to get to the line of scrimmage. And then it's up to him. The Raiders got to figure out this player a little bit more in their run game. They got to figure out ways to get him to the line of scrimmage and give him a chance.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I thought Jeanty was underutilized because he really does look good when he's been given some space. Another thing that frustrated me in the game on Monday that Dan called was how little they used their 2 tight end sets. Now, Brock Bowers was injured in that game, and I was texting Dan while he was calling the game, why aren't they in 12 personnel more? Yeah. Well, he's healthier now, so put him and Michael Mayer on the field on the same time. And if Washington matches that with nickel, that's what they've been doing a lot of this year, then you run the football with Ashton Jeanty because you're going to have a size advantage for him. But this offense to me kind of got away from what I think their core identity is. Tight ends on the field, run the football, play action pass off of it. It shouldn't be about spreading things out because these receivers are not good enough.
Okay, so let me get this straight. When Dan is calling a game, Mina, you are texting him as he's calling the game.
Confirming.
Bothering him, probably.
And do you text her back, Dan?
Post game, I'm trying to get better at not during game, but I do think I responded to that one, yes.
Okay, let's look at our picks.
You hit me at halftime.
That's so funny. Marcus, Mina, RC, and I are all on the Raiders. Dan, though, who called that game, he's on the Commanders. Real quick, Dan, why?
I think the desperation coming off of that game against the Packers, and I think this Commanders defense is a good, solid unit. Raiders are improved. I think Washington's a better football team.
Wait a second, Ryan, you changed your pick, so there's no score there. What's up with that?
Yeah. Well, so my pick was Washington, but as we were talking about Jaden Daniels, I was like, I can't talk out of both sides of my face. I can't say Jaden Daniels is everything to this team and then saying they are going to perform at that same level without him. He's asked to do so much, and I have faith in Marcus Mariota. I believe that Marcus Mariota can make plays, but they need that Jaden Daniels piece to win.
Okay, so what's happening here? So Mina is texting people live when they're calling games. You're changing picks live when we're on the air, right? It is definitely a Friday. Yes. All right, Josh Allen and the Bills hosting Tua and the funnel. The Dolphins with a 16-play, 71-yard drive just before the half were tied. Now drive alive, and now it's 2nd and goal from the 5. Tua looking in the end zone, and he finds Hill. And we are tied again at 21. Oh, but then there's this. The Bills punting. Cameron Johnston puts it at the 2, but there is a flag on the play, just an awful penalty, as Zach Sealer is called for roughing the kicker. So that is 15 yards because of this that you're watching there. I know you can hear Mina like, oh no. And the Bills drive continues. That was key. 2nd and 5 now inside the red zone. And Allen throws a screen pass to Khalil Shakir, and Shakir does the rest. Now the Bills are on top, 28-21. Next drive, we're 1st and 10 from the 21. The right guard misses the block on Deion Walker, who is into his face. He doesn't see the play. Terrell Bernard reads it perfectly. Interception. Game over. Here is Mike McDaniel.
I'm never proud of a loss. And I'm not, we came here to win, and I refuse to take moral victories as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. It wasn't good enough, so that's where I'm at.
Dan, the harsh reality is only 6 teams in NFL history made the playoffs after an 0-3 start. What did you see from Tua in this one?
Well, I think, first of all, talking about Buffalo quickly, it continues to be one of the most creative and diverse run games in the NFL. The different ways that they get through so many different runs, both people and schematically. Kudos to Buffalo. I think with Tua, it looks like he's lost his superpower. Tua's superpower has always been cut the ball loose before you should cut the ball loose. Throwing the ball before they're open, moving guys to open those windows and cut the ball loose. And I don't know if it's because that first week, a poor performance on the road against Indy, but he's a guy who's always said, I trust my eyes, I see them open, and I cut it loose. And right now, it looks like he's waiting specifically for a player like Tyreek Hill to get open and then cut it. His eyes right now are reactive rather than proactive. I want Tua to get back to playing his style of quarterback.
Dan, to me, he looks like a quarterback that's lost all confidence as well. And I don't always try to read into the words of a player, right? When a player comes out and says, hey, I'm telling Tyreek, don't expect me to throw it 80 yards. You may have to stop. Or when speaking about Josh Allen and saying something that is true, saying I can't do half of what he does. Where's the confidence in what Tua is good at? And the thing is this, when your superpower is not linked to anything physically, that superpower can't wane. If you don't have the strongest arm, if you don't have the most velocity, if anticipation is your thing, you always have to be on top of that. If reading a defense is your thing, you have to be on top of that. And I thought Mike McDaniel actually did a masterful job of creating easy throws for Tua, yards after the catch, getting playmakers in space. But when Tua Tagovailoa was asked to do the one thing, to carry this team to a touchdown, to tie this game late, he made the mistake. And you just cannot do that. The loss can't be on him.
Yeah, that was just a really basic football 101 play, and he couldn't see it, didn't read it, and here we are. All right, Mina, the Bills are the NFL's first 3-0 team. They did say, Josh Allen said afterwards they do have room for improvement. But what's your biggest takeaway from them last night?
Yeah, I mean, people always talk about, they don't have elite receivers. They have an elite run game, and it is a joy to watch. Dan talked about this. They do everything, inside zone, outside zone. Thing is moving bodies out there, by the way, yell football. And then on top of all of this, they have a running back in James Cook who takes what is already a great run game and then elevates it. Going back and watching his explosives, I am just constantly amazed by his vision. I think he might have the best vision, by the way, right now of any back in the NFL. He seems to always find the exact right path, the exact right moment to press, and then he creates after the fact. The only thing I would say, Alan said they want to improve on something. I'd like to see an explosive passing attack, maybe a play-action passing attack built off of this run game because defenses are so afraid of it, but that's not something that they needed last night.
Yeah, MK, I'm along lines with you. And Dan, stay out of me and Mina business. You were supposed to be talking about the Dolphins, all right? Let us have the Bills. We know you love to wax poetic about the Buffalo Bills. Here's the thing, man. We last night watching that game, and I understand what you're saying, Mina, about the explosive passing game. But I do love something that Josh Allen is doing, and he's been a distributor when needed. Like, there'll be games where they'll have to try to blow the top off. But his ball distribution and how many people he's getting involved in what they're doing offensively. Elijah Moore showed up last night as well in the jet sweep game, in the passing game in the middle of the field. This team is as complete as I've ever seen them. And I know that's saying a lot. They played a lot of great football. And we talked about Josh Allen and what he does so much. But this offense is so mature, and they understand situational football as well as anybody in the NFL. That's what's so impressive about what this offense is doing behind Josh Allen and Joe Brady.
Yeah, and 6 first downs on throws outside the pocket, most of anybody in the NFL. We are just getting started in Philly on Sunday. Playoff rematch between the Eagles and the Rams, both teams at 2-0. So let's build out a play sheet presented by ESPN Sportsbook, and we're going to do it with the one, the only Swagoo. All right, so we're going to start with Matthew Stafford, Swagoo. Over under 1.5 passing touchdowns. What do you think?